Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, the 29th day of April. Holy cow. Tomorrow's the last day of this month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How in the world did that happen? your phone is going off.
It's a Monday. I forgot to turn it. I apologize.
It is National Peace Rose Day. Not Pete Rose. Peace Rose Day. National Zipper Day and National Shrimp Scampi Day. I was thinking Zipper Day was last week, but apparently it is this week. I got my zipper card sent out early, apparently. Also, it's a Movie Star Monday with Mehcad Brooks. He's best known for a role on Desperate Housewives. That's where we first saw him. He was also in The Game, Necessary Roughness. Currently in DC Comics action adventure series called Supergirl on the CW. And he's also, believe it or not, in movies like Tyler Perry has a movie called Nobody's Fool. And, if that's not enough, he's also a singer as well. He's got a new album out called Oceans, and when he's doing music, he goes by the name King Gypsy, and it's GVPSV, so there's V's instead of Y's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday.
The inventor of Rip-It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip-It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip-It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip-It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Got a good survey here today, Heidi. It says Pew Research survey found 10% of Americans do not use the internet. Hey, if you're one of those, send me an email and let me know why.
10%. Probably because they're infants.
See what I did there? If you're one of those, send me an email.
I see what you did.
Yeah. I do talk to people from time to time who will tell me that they are not on Facebook. We've been on Facebook for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
I remember.
I don't know. I kind of wish.
I remember when I first got on there,
wasn't.
I was thinking that was kind of a cool thing. Now it's like, oh, I gotta post this stuff because I said I was going to post it.
Yeah.
And there are people who will call me on that too. They'll say, hey, you were going to post something about this thing you were talking about and you never did. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Because I have ADD. The second I quit thinking about I move on.
You do. You
What
could
were we
use
doing
some
again?
medication.
I'm not sure what we were doing. Surveys and studies and such. That's what it was. Brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Credit cards. They can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. And this is your brain on drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. We head to Ohio where we find a man wearing a baseball cap and a shirt being arrested because they saw him planting prescription medications on the grounds of the county jail. 45-year-old William Tackett arrested for illegal conveyance of drugs of abuse onto grounds of detention facility. That's a long title.
That really
Third-degree
is.
felony. He's being held on a $20,066 bond.
Yikes.
It's quite a weird amount. No court date scheduled thus far. It says the drugs were being placed there for a 38-year-old inmate, Anessa Henson, who's in jail on a different warrant. Correction staff says they were able to intercept the illegal transaction. Both subjects were charged with felony illegal conveyance. So
there you go.
I don't understand how. So he was in the jail yard digging a hole? I don't really understand that, but planting it, I suppose, probably doesn't necessarily mean digging a hole. Threw it over the fence, maybe, is planting it too.
Well, yeah, planting. It would be like planting evidence. He's not planting it like in the dirt.
That makes more sense now. After thinking about it, that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Avengers Endgame is doing incredibly well in China. It's on pace to rack up $500 million in sales. That's just
insane.
in China, Heidi. We should make one of those movies.
We should make
$500 million. We could retire, do 2 or 3 of those, we'd be all right.
Sure.
We wouldn't need that many. We could retire off the crumbs of that movie. The cast of Empire has told producers of the show to bring back Jussie Smollett next season, or else.
Or else what?
I don't know. It just says or else. And Netflix is struggling financially to keep reruns of Friends and The Office because Hollywood studios now are starting their own streaming services. And they want their content back. So they just paid $100 million for Friends.
Yeah, I would say
they should let them play that for another year or so at least.
Or they need to get their money back.
Yeah, I don't know. Just interesting stuff. They just keep bumping that price up. We'll see what happens. This is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Over 300 teenagers got into a massive brawl at the Worlds of Fun amusement park in Kansas City, Missouri. Police say it is a miracle that no bystanders were hurt. Yeah, because they're all busy videotaping it with their phones.
What started that?
I don't know. 300 teenagers got in a fight. Why? Because they're teenagers? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me either. International group of scientists are warning that a Chinese experiment where human DNA mixing with monkey DNA could have disastrous consequences. Do you think?
You think so?
Really? That doesn't sound like a good plan?
No.
Why are you doing this, China? Don't. It's a bad idea. Have you seen Planet of the Apes? And I know that's not what happened there, but I got a feeling that's
that's not what happened.
I know.
In Planet of the Apes.
But I'm telling you, that's what we're going to look like if they start mixing human DNA with monkey DNA. That's what they're doing.
Oh, goodness.
I don't understand why.
It is a very bad idea.
It
Why
is.
are we messing around with stuff like this?
Somebody make a movie about it quick. Maybe then we'll realize what a bad idea it is. Queen Elizabeth celebrated her 93rd birthday with family and friends on Easter Sunday. So a big happy. She went bungee jumping and parasailing.
Oh, sweet.
No, she didn't really. She just had a quiet little thing around the castle.
Oh.
Amazon is
that doesn't
closing
sound
their
anywhere near as much fun.
No. Amazon is closing their online store in China because of the difficulties of doing business in the communist nation. So Amazon can't make it work in China. This is a huge, gigantic company.
Yeah.
They can't make it work in China. So that's kind of interesting. I've got a link to that story if you want to read the details there. A study by Ookla. Oh, wait. No, it's UCLA. Do you remember as a kid there was a cartoon with a character named Ookla? Do you remember that?
No.
I don't remember what the character, what that was, but there was a character named Ookla, and every time I saw UCLA, all I could think of is that character.
I don't remember him at all.
No. Maybe I just dreamt that. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that's real. I don't think I made that up. A new study by UCLA found that students and faculty have an elevated chance of catching the measles because there's now a large percentage of students that are unvaccinated wandering aimlessly on the campuses there. So they say that their students and their faculty are getting sick at higher rates because of the unvaccinated students that are bringing that in. That's not good.
This is really frustrating for me.
Yeah. I mean, if everybody's vaccinated, they're okay, though, right? Isn't it only the ones that are not vaccinated?
But, I think they wear off over time.
Is that how it
so
works?
You were vaccinated when you were younger.
I got a lifetime
in order
vaccination.
to eradicate the disease, and then they.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I think it wears off.
Hey, 3 million people watched a video of a runaway donkey that brought traffic to a standstill in Chicago. Now, in all fairness, we were just in Chicago, like less than a week ago, a little over a week ago. And we were on I-90 in Chicago. I saw no donkey while I was there.
I did not see donkeys either.
We should have stuck around a little longer, apparently. Louisiana State Police arrested a man who broke into the governor's mansion and fell asleep on the sofa.
Oh, wow. That takes some guts.
Yeah, it's not good planning, but yeah, it's interesting. A new report claims that Facebook and Google have been sharing user data on their mental health apps.
Yeah, you think so?
That's not good. NASA is warning that I don't understand this, the Beauty and the Beast aura could release a solar flash that could damage communication systems on Earth.
Beauty and the Beast aura, what is
so
that?
That is something to do with the sun, but why did they call it that? It's an aura on the sun. It's a solar flare thing.
Okay.
But they called it the Beauty and the Beast
had to call
aura.
it something, I guess.
Yeah, why call it that? I mean, doesn't that seem kind of confusing? And then one last story. Walmart is experimenting with artificial...
Because aura was too hard to say.
Yeah, let's not go with that one either. Walmart is experienced with artificial intelligence monitors that would tell employees when to restock the shelves. Okay, can't you just tell by looking at the shelf? I don't know. This is bizarre. We live in the future, and I'm not ready for it.
No, I
for
just
listening.
want to go back.
Yeah, thanks for
Go
listening.
back to like the 80s.
Or 90s, maybe. Well, let's at least go back to when we got smartphones. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We have Mehcad Brooks. I remember first learning of Mehcad Brooks with Desperate Housewives, but he's also been involved in a bunch of other great projects like The Game, Necessary Roughness, Supergirl on the CW. You still see him there. Also, Tyler Perry's film Nobody's Fool, and he's a singer too. Mehcad, how are you doing, man?
Very well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Very good. You're a busy dude. In addition to all of this acting, you're also a musician. And how in the world do you find time to do all of this stuff?
I kind of look at it as it's not about finding time. It's about finding your, and then you make time. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's very true. And if it's something you love doing, you will find the time for it, won't you?
Absolutely.
So if people are looking for it in the music world, they don't find you under Mehcad there. They find you under King. And I'm going to let you say how they say it because I'm not exactly sure how to say this here. How do they say your last name in the music world?
Yeah. So my music moniker is King Gypsy, but it's spelled GVPSV.
Okay, King Gypsy, but it's V's instead of Y's. And you got a new single there called Oceans. Right. How long have you been doing the music?
But my first single out October 20th of 2017.
And then you've done quite well over there as well. I think this is something that's really cool because you're kind of that double threat. In addition to being an amazing actor, you're also a pretty darn good singer as well, man.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Is there one of those that you love more than the other? Do you like the acting more than and the music, or do you like the music more than acting, or kind of both the same?
I would say that they're both storytelling. So to me, they're kind of the same thing. They're just using different instruments within the same vessel.
Now, are there some opportunities along the way that you just kind of look back and go, boy, I still can't believe I had the chance to do this, whether it's on the music side of things or on the acting side of things?
Man, every day. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky, and I'm just so grateful for my entire career. It's been really wonderful, and so yeah, and like one of the reasons I'm doing music is because May 20th, 2009, I flatlined. I passed away in a hospital, and I came back, and I had this sort of, awakening. And then 2 years later to the day, May 20th, 2011, I got hit by a car, and I was put into a coma. And so, and the album is called May 20th. So it's about these experiences that I've had and the growth that I've had from that. And so to answer that question, every single day is a lesson. Every single day is a gift from God that I'm very grateful for.
That is fantastic. That's quite the perspective you have too, because for most people, they don't necessarily have that where their life flashes before their eyes. But you've had it happen not once but twice, and it's just amazing to me that they both happened on May 20th.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's almost like mean, like that's something that you can try to ignore. It's something that you can try not to piece together. But in those quiet moments where you're sitting at home alone, you know, I can't deny the fact that this happened on the exact same day. Something very similar happened on the exact same day, 2 years apart. And, you know, that just woke me up. Woke me up to what this is, or at least what this is for me, right? And it's about showing gratitude. It's about forgiving yourself. It's about forgiving other people and moving on with the agreements in your life that serve you.
Well, you've got a purpose in this world, or otherwise you wouldn't be here. So I'm really glad that you're here because I think it's awesome to chat with you. And also, I'm excited to see.
The phone's breaking up. What did you say?
I said I'm really happy that you're here because I think you've got some really important things coming your way in your life, my friend.
Oh, that's very kind. I really appreciate that.
Well, I wish you the very best on this album that just came out and also on your acting career as well. You're doing fantastic. And again, thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Again, in the music world known as King Gypsy, I've got a link to his new album and all of the information on there. And then also in the acting world, he's known as Mehcad Brooks. We've got a link to his IMDb and all the cool stuff that he's doing there. You can see him right now in Supergirl on the CW. He's in a ton of movies and a ton of other fun stuff. A link to all of that information in our show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The inventor of Rip It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Foreign accent syndrome is a thing. Speech disorder that can occur after a traumatic brain injury or a stroke. When you wake up and you speak a native accent or a foreign accent, there are people who are American English that start speaking British English. There are Japanese people who start speaking Korean, British English that have a French accent, and Spanish with a Hungarian accent. So there are some cases of this happening.
I pick up accents very easily, and I don't have a brain injury that I know of.
I'm glad you moved on with the rest of it. I thought you were going to say you don't have a brain. What? Wait a minute. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Credit cards, they can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. You ready for this one, Heidi?
Sure.
All right. Ranidophobia. Ranidophobia. Ranidaphobia. Ranidophobia.
I don't know.
Or ranidophobia. I don't know how you say it. Fear of frogs.
See,
how about frogophobia? I mean, wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
That would be a lot better.
Yeah,
Ranidophobia?
I don't know where these root words come from.
Nor do I. But it's today's fun with phobias.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Some neighborhood arguments get a little out of hand, maybe more so than others, like the one that happened last weekend in Florida that resulted in bloodshed. That's not good. A man needed 6 staples to close a wound on the back of his head.
Yikes.
He got in a little bit of a tiffy with a neighbor. 51-year-old Gerald Lee Thornton Jr. is charged with aggravated battery after attacking a neighbor with a frying pan and with a lamp pole. Deputies told the newspaper there, that his arrest indicates that he's been held on a $10,000 bond. They said one neighbor told Thornton chased him with a frying pan, eventually catching up and striking him in the left side. That man managed to wrestle the cookware away, even landed enough punches on the suspect to knock him down. Investigators said that's when he got back up and used a lamp pole and smashed open the back of the guy's head, a different neighbor's head. Okay. So he hit one guy with a frying pan, another with a lamp pole. What were they fighting over? I don't know. It doesn't say in the story.
That would be good to know.
Yeah, it would be good to know. Maybe they don't even remember. That is some weird news, courtesy of WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Hey, by the way, if you have ideas for designs, did you know you can upload them there?
I did.
So if you have an idea for a funky
Make your
shirt,
own shirt.
And it doesn't have to be a monkey shirt, just a funky shirt, or any kind of shirt. FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Authorities in Florida say a man there ignited a homemade pipe bomb that flew into his neighbor's yard. What in the world? Then he shared a video of the outcome on Facebook.
I saw this video. And they thought it was, nobody was freaking out. They thought it was funny.
25-year-old Christopher Green facing charges of making a destructive device.
Yeah.
Nobody was injured. Some homes were, though. And it says here neighborhoods were evacuated because of it. The deputy said he used a stump remover mixer with some sugar to make some smoke bombs. Posted the video on Facebook before his arrest, writing that he didn't expect that. Didn't expect that thrust, rather, when the thing exploded. Neighbors heard a loud hissing noise, and they saw a metal pipe flying into her yard. He said, I went to jail for this. Could be facing up to 10 years. Hope they take it easy. Yeah, dude, it was a bad idea.
It was a very bad idea.
That's why it's today's moment of duh. Terrible idea.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things, Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? All right, silver, red, and 20th century. It's kind of a giveaway.
Fox?
Yeah, that was a giveaway. 20th century fox, red fox, silver fox. Although one of those foxes is spelled differently. It's kind of cheating,
yeah, there's
isn't it?
2 X's on red fox.
Yeah, and there's 2 D's on red. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
REDDFOXX.
Yep, I knew
all those
that.
extra letters. This is
I was a big fan of his.
He's
I
a funny
him.
dude. Very funny dude. These three things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news and bonus points today because in addition to this being good news, this also has to do with a police officer doing something awesome. I love those stories. And this one comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.net. A man lands a job after a police officer gave him a ride to an interview instead of giving him a ticket.
I read this story.
Young man in Illinois starts his new job this week because he got a police escort to his interview. Kind of, sort of. Kashawn Baldwin, 22, was pulled over last week by a police officer, Roger Germols, for expired plates. Baldwin also did not have a valid driver's license. He told the officer, hey, I'm on my way to a job interview. I didn't have any way to get there. Well, instead of giving him a ticket, he actually drove him to the interview, and the kid got the job. It says here, on behalf of Mayor Curtis McCall Jr., I would like to thank Officer Gamols, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I hope I'm saying it right, for showing compassion and being a great example of how community-oriented policing actually works. It says he could tell Baldwin really needed the job. He was a polite young man when I pulled him over, and he seemed like a good young man, so I wanted to give him a chance. I knew if I gave him a bunch of tickets and towed his car, it would be tough to recover that. Yep. So instead, he helped the guy out. So this is really cool. This is the second job in addition to another one that he already had. He's working now with a FedEx company as a package handler. He also now had a job before at McDonald's. He's working 2 jobs.
Good for him.
That's really cool.
It's a
Good job,
man
young
with
man.
ambition.
Yeah, I think that's good. And here's the thing. I think that as grown-up human people, we need to look out for these youngsters that are ambitious and encourage that.
Absolutely.
And when you see
this
somebody,
officer was, I think
yeah,
that's beautiful.
absolutely. And when you see somebody that's working and they're doing a good job and they're going above and beyond, not only let them know that, but even talk to the manager and don't be shocked when they go, "What's the problem?" Because I have that happen all the time.
Yep.
I'll say, "Hey, can I visit with the manager?" And they'll come over, and this is the first words they'll say, "What's the problem?" And there's not a problem. I would want to say, "Anna was awesome," or "Michael did an amazing job." I just want to let you know that because, as you just said, what's the problem? Usually they only hear when there's something bad.
Yep,
so
that's right.
I think it's cool. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. I've got a link to all of this fun stuff in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.